Hello, daily mushroom blog peoples. This is the blog. I'm Willie T. It's just on my personal blog on the mushroom business that's coming up here in Oregon. Of course, we got mushrooms legalized in Colorado too, so it's going to be fun to follow along and see how their industry is going to be shaping up. Of course, we're going to be part of that too. Definitely have our roots in Colorado as well. But yeah, exciting time, man. I am like a crack fiend right now for my email. So don't mind me if I'm just sitting here pushing the refresh button because I am just waiting for that acceptance email. So I reached out to a bunch of people. They said I got back a couple replies. Said that we're in line and they're just waiting to start up their first classes. So, we're just waiting for the acceptance email. I'm excited. It's an exciting time. I was discussing, let's discuss this. Let's have a conversation, right? I kind of noticed a little trend here, too. When mushrooms legalized in Colorado, I think there was 3 or 4 people that hit one of the groups and they were just like, man, I need somebody to be a master grower for our, warehouses we're gonna set up. Bro, mushrooms are already, legalized, already slow. I have this friend, and he's not, he's not in the industry. He's not really a cannabis consumer. He has family members that, were growers in California, and he's as far from a cannabis consumer as anyone. But he recognized, he's like, dude, the cannabis industry now, I know farmers, they're not even making any money. And I had to explain to him, like, I think really, truly our industry is going to be different. God, my word, I've just been mispronouncing words all day for some reason. So, probably a little bit of the stress we're going through, right? Countdown is counting down. We're about to be in under 40 days. We got part C's like Moses over here. Yeah, so, the thing with cannabis is like a consumable product, right? And it was kind of a race to the bottom. I think with the way mushrooms is, I think truly, like, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a race and da. But I think the way it's going to help people and the way that people are going to come to it and they're looking for, healing experiences, fun, new experiences. I don't think it's going to be the same as cannabis. Cannabis is something we smoke every day. We get our hands on it, hundreds of growers, and they're just kind of racing towards the bottom. I don't think that's how it's going to be. But I just had a customer walk in and I'm covering a shop. So I'll be right back. Just my Bitcoin guy, so he's going to let the Bitcoin machine go off for a minute while he's handling and buying up his Bitcoin. Some people buy Bitcoin to speculate dollars, and some people buy Bitcoin when the dollar fails. But once again, I think it's going to be truly about more helping people, and through helping people through this, fungus that is going to get among us, and we're going to get a little bit more connected. And I think that's where the industry really lies. Like, that's where it's at. If you're jumping in this thinking you're going to grow 1,000,000 pounds of mushrooms and sell them all for thousands of dollars each, you are in the wrong industry. I think this is coming too because I just watched a great little documentary with Jonah Hill. I was very surprised. Kind of threw it on in the background. Think it was going to be one thing, but it was completely another thing. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Let's see here. Yep. All right. Cool. I got my camera so I can see. All right. So, I really enjoyed that documentary because it really touched bases on like helping people, and I really like how it taught some of the skills in helping people. And I think that's where a lot of this is going to be coming up. Like, and I know there's a lot of talk that this is only going to be medical, it's going to be so expensive, and blah, blah, blah. But I truly feel like Tom and Sherry, they tell the story. I'll tell you the story they told. Tom told the story. And he said they went camping. They took a bunch of mushrooms and they came up with this game plan. And they wrote out the game plan. How are they going to legalize mushrooms, help people, but not lock it down? And that was something they pushed forward for. And I think, looking at the way it's written, if you actually take the time to look at the full bill and the way it's written, I think they really took good care in making sure that this industry does stay in the hands of, you know, regular folks. It does stay equitable to, people of color, LGBT, and the small guys, you know. It really does look like this industry that they're building is going to be like, how do I want to describe this? This is a hard way to describe it. Okay, like, I think in a way, as an adult, you grow up and then, one day you either decide, yo, I am fucked up and I need help. And then you go seek help, right? And there's like this big gap between, the moment you're saying, I'm fucked up, I need to go get counseling. Or, maybe it's somebody else that's telling you this. You're fucked up and you need to go get counseling. There's this big gapping jump that happens. And, in my experiences, I've discovered a lot of people have kind of started to seek out the help from, you know, being with their friends and seeing, different perspectives and conversations, and and then understanding that, then they kind of seek it. I think it kind of comes from a way of having fun. You kind of like go out, you have fun, and you're wondering, why am I not having that much fun? Because I have some things I need to work on. And then there's a giant leap to the things you need to work on. And I think that the mushrooms and the way these events are going to be set up, where you don't have to be a medical facility, you don't have to be a therapist, you just have to have a GED to become a facilitator. There is no requirement to be a doctor or a therapist. You don't need a master's degree. You just need to go through the program and learn. I mean, if you're a therapist or a counselor or anything like that, you can, of course, cut the time down that it takes to become a facilitator. But I think that that's where the beauty of this industry lies and what's being created here in Oregon, because people are going to be able to go and have, experiences that are experienced just for fun, and find themselves in the position of wanting to learn more, wanting to open up, being addressed with some of the issues. You gotta remember too, like, people are always afraid of the bad trip. Larry said it the best. The bad trip is nothing to fear. The bad trip is just you, your body, your mind, your soul. The fungus among us. That's my new saying. I love it. It's a good fungus though. It's not like the game where it's going to kill you and then try to convince all your friends that you were the killer. The fungus among us, it's like that is the kind of the stepping stone for helping people. That you have the bad trip and it forces things that your small triggers in you, small things you've been keeping deep inside, the shadow, that's been following you. And it really takes that and brings it to light. And, when you are losing control from mushrooms and that's what's presented, hell yeah, that's going to be a bad trip. But you still make it through it. The morning still comes. The light still shines. The sun still opens up. The next morning, you're still doing fine. You're still here. Your mind starts to come back to reality, to normal. Those connections start, breaking down again, and you start to realize, like, this is not something permanent, and you're able to ask yourself, What did I face during that trip? And then you're able to suppress it more or maybe address it. And I think that's where the mushrooms come in. That's where you move it into a new sections. I was out the other day with some friends, and it had dawned on me I had never had a trip by myself. But that's a story for another day. Thanks for tuning in.